The Federated States of Micronesia comprises many different islands, and each with their own rich culture. Over time, outside influences have had their impact, and some practices that have negative health consequences are being attributed to culture. One of the most troubling practices is the chewing of betel nut, with and without tobacco, and sometimes with alcohol. This new activity is causing a rise in the number of deaths of Micronesians from various types of cancer. According to the 2010 FSM census, for adults between the ages of 25 and 60 in Chuuk, 30.4% smoked cigarettes, 27.4% chew betel nut, and 8.2% did both. In Pohnpei, the numbers were 17.6% smoked cigarettes, 40.5% chew betel nut, and 12.1% did both. Yap has 14.4% who smoke cigarettes, 65% chew betel nut, and 13% did both. Finally, in Kashrai, 11.9% smoke cigarettes, 16.7% chew betel nut, and 11% did both. With access to cheap tobacco and locally grown betel nuts, people have had an easy opportunity to participate in this unhealthy practice. But in doing so, they are risking their health.
I'm a very athletic guy. I play basketball, I play all sorts of sports. Yes, I chew, but not like these other guys that they've been chewing their whole life. I chew like maybe once a day, maybe a year, that's it. And life is so unfair. When I look at some of these guys, they're still chewing. They don't even get cancer from it. And here I am. Just try it and that's it.
Betel nut is a group 1 carcinogen, which means that it is known to cause cancer in humans. Habitual use of betel nut has been associated with a number of long-term adverse health effects, including oral precancer, cancer, heart and respiratory effects, diabetes mellitus, poor pregnancy outcomes, mental illness, addiction, and toxic effects. A startling figure comes from a survey conducted at a referral medical center in Hawaii that notes a 67% mortality rate among Micronesians with oral cancer.
During this time, I've seen that a lot, it's increasing. The number is increasing. Because when I started working, I had some data from record, and it was like 5 or 9 people, but now I know there's more than 5 or 9 people that has mouth cancer. So definitely the problem is increasing.
Maybe a few years ago, we didn't have cases of oral cancer on the mouth. Now, after 12-15 years with chewing betel nut with tobacco, we have a rising incidence now of oral cancer. Usually, patients present with pain and swelling in the gums and with difficulty in swallowing, and they complain about inability to sleep at night. So most of these cases, what we do is we just give some silocaine gels for the pain to relieve the pain, and some pain relievers, and some anti-infectives. And most of these patients are referred off-island, either via the state insurance plans or the Chuuk State Healthcare Plan, or those patients without insurance, they're being referred to the non-insured program. That's how we manage these patients with oral cancer.
When it comes to chewing betel nut and tobacco, it's not just mouth cancer that people have to worry about. Other cancers like lung, nasopharynx, tongue cancer, and supraglottis or neck cancer have increased year by year in the FSM states.
In 2010, my husband died because of oral cancer. He was 36 years old. He's been chewing for 15 years. We have only one son. The loss that we have is our son. His average grades, he's like 3 boy and up. But after my husband died, he really dropped from his grade. And he always like recall his father. He wanted to have a father in his life. So, because he was still a young boy.
I've lost many loved ones to cancer and most recently our beloved mother. It's hard to lose one parent, let alone two. But knowing they rest in peace with our Lord Jesus, that gives me the strength to move on with my life.
Well, the precancerous lesions, or what we can say, the signs of cancer, it's almost, you've seen that almost maybe every 2 weeks, somebody pop in with an erosive or ulcerated cheek. The cases that we've sent off island are more like stage 4 cases. These are the cases that the treatment is more like 50-50. People might have a chance, but can live maybe less than 5 years. And on the island with no post-operative care, we tend to lose our people even far less than 5 years. Yeah, so our referral, we only refer cases with stages 3 or 4.
Rage mapula-pulkan ran murs per kangpo. Bagi iben kena yawan wirak o metak mayan ko. Awan metakan cancer, sotra metak may ken tuwete. Utani anak kawawayara ranana wuti rater puya. Ben nei serigo sto mo itang rarang kangpo. Nei serariaman takamay saraben man amen tuketek. Mira laute mela nei saramelaut ko ikawayaram utani kang rangkang po. Wagi ngay iken yawan metak wairak apal. O yang momen meseye ay kilikilang way ansa waram mas kilikilang. Meseyet selar tuwete mesey men maso.
I have been chewing for quite a long time now, ever since when I was back in elementary school. That's when I started chewing Betel Nut. I think when I was in 4th grade.
On and off for about 20 years.
I've been chewing Betel Nut for 35 years.
I've been chewing for 18 years.
Yeah, in Chuk, Betel Nut is not part of our culture, but people are viewing it as something that is a problem. But with the kids especially, because most of the kids are like using Betel Nut as a way of socializing with their peers. So I think that's why it's getting out of hands, that although our programs are trying to discourage them from chewing Betel Nut.
Most of the study participants felt that people get sick and die from using tobacco, but they knew there were good reasons to quit, and they felt there could be ways to help them to stop using tobacco. A lot of people reported that they started early in using tobacco and Betel Nut because of their peers and even adults who were providing these things to them. It seems that a lot of tobacco and Betel Nut users were more motivated to quit because of money rather than to help with their health. But no matter what the reason was, they said it would be hard because of the culture and the environment of Yap, because it's hard to stop when it's happening everywhere.
I've tried several times to quit chewing, but I just couldn't. I think the reason why I couldn't stop chewing is because of other people that chew. They chew around me. I see them chewing, so I think that's the reason why I keep on chewing.
My advice to the betel nut chewer, I know it's hard, but to try and stop chewing betel nut and stop the use of tobacco, both smoking it and chewing it.
And for pregnant women that choose betel nut, they can have babies that has low birth weight. For example, like also pregnant women that choose betel nut, they seem to have folate deficiency or folic acid deficiency. So it's a really big problem.
Right now, oral cancer and lung cancer are taking turns being the #1 most prevalent cancer in Yap. 60% of Yap's adult cancers are tobacco related, and just early this month, our governor declared a state of health emergency because of the rising rate of non-communicable diseases. And the increasing number of diseases and deaths are most likely due to our unhealthy lifestyle in Yap, of which alcohol and tobacco are big contributors to.
I started chewing when I was still in elementary school as 7th or 8th grade. Why I started was, somebody came to the family, non-Kushan, married to one of my uncles. She chewed, was a Palawan lady. And then I tried to, just to get the taste of it, the feeling of it. Thought it was only, I will just, it's like any other things that you start with. Stop any time you want to stop. But then the first day, second day, the first day when I chew was, I was knocked out. The whole cigarette, the whole betel nut, the whole leaf. Because I know nothing about betel nut. And I was still young, just curious. So then, after that week, the following, I started looking for my auntie. I stopped 3 years ago. Yeah. 13 years old, 12 years old, 13, 14, I'm 50 years old. So I have to quit in order for me to share this to my kids. Not only them, but everybody else, every kids today. I am a father that really experienced the bad side of betel nut.
I'd say we've started working with the community in Kichi and Pain Poa, because that's where the first promotion of the law was taken. So during that time, the chief or the somas of that place had a gathering or had a community event done there, and program along with the governor and everybody else at the state level was there to witness what he did. He officially or in front of all the program people and the community acknowledge the ETS law, the tobacco-free smoke law.
As for me, I would say role model is pretty, you know, it's pretty low, if I should say that, because some of our leaders are chewing betel nut, even smoke. Although we do have policies around of using drugs as well as cigarette, but some of our leaders are still using these things. So to be a role model, our leaders should not use those things. That way students or even the community can adopt and then adjust themselves to these leaders that we do have around.
I was saying that here in Gosha, and especially in our church in Davansak, we don't have a problem or shortage of our role models. Two of them are here. Because the church leaders, the endeavors leaders, the young endeavors, they walk the talk. As the pastor indicated, it's one of the prohibitions. So they walk the talk, and the young children can easily see that they don't drink, they don't smoke, and more importantly, they don't chew betel nuts.
He was saying he started chewing and smoking for about 6 to 7 years, but he's still young. Maybe he's around 24 years old, and he just got back from the Philippines from the surgery of mouth cancer. His tongue is twisted. He cannot open his mouth. He cannot really eat. It's really hard for him to speak. He will just mumble, and that's all he can do to speak. Just action if he wants something. It's really hard for him to eat and speak and ask for what he needs.
I started, as I remember, it was only myself and very few guys in Bushra that started chewing those days.
Role modeling for the children in terms of preventive health care, for that matter, during betel nuts and the use of tobacco, it's a very big challenge. Very big challenge.